What's going on, guys? It's Mirwin. Today we're going to be talking about one of my top albums from 2023. So today we're going to be talking about some of my top albums from 2023. We're going to be doing a little bit different format than what I did last year, where I kind of did a longer video. We're going to be breaking up into an album by album for video by video. So today the album we're going to be talking about is A Beautiful Blur by the band LANY. So we're just going to get straight into it here today. If you haven't heard of this band before, it's kind of like an indie rock band, maybe kind of similar to like the 1975, something like that. I've been following this band for a long time. When their first album came out, right out after I came out of high school, the self-titled, I believe, got the rose on the album art. I remember being drawn to the album art. One of my friends showed me them. I've gone to a couple, I think 2 of their concerts, at least 1, maybe 2. But great band, got a lot of music that I really like. So I was super excited to hear this album coming out. Especially since I kind of missed or slept on a little bit their previous album, GGBBXX. So I was excited to hear the new stuff and just kind of see what they were, kind of what the progression of their music was going to be. So we're just going to kind of go through kind of what I liked about this album, some of the stuff I liked with this. If you hear me talk about music, I'm a huge fan of shorter track lists. So this album has a shorter track list, which is, pretty standard for this genre of music. I feel like, rap definitely leans more towards the longer track list side. But definitely, still something I really like about this. You look at the track list here, it's 13 songs, almost under 50. It is under 50 minutes for the whole album listen, if you're not listening to the deluxe. So definitely like that. Always a fan of just being super efficient and, really making sure you're stewarding the listener's time well. Another thing I really like about this album is just really cohesive sonically, which is something, you would expect normally from a band or like a group, something like that. But, sometimes, some of the other albums I'll be talking about with, my favorite albums from this year, some of the things I do like about, like, some of the other albums, like, I'm going to talk about Tizo Touchdown's album. One of the things I liked about his was that there was a lot of variety. One of the things I like with this one is that it is cohesive, but there is still some variation from song to song. Definitely a strength of theirs, just building that atmosphere and, like, really fleshing out their sound really well. Definitely a huge strength of this group. Another thing I really like is I feel like they've been building pretty consistently on their past couple albums, something I think with pop and maybe even alternative music, and I'll probably talk about this with Olivia Rodrigo's album as well, is I think a lot of times change sonically happens a lot more slowly than maybe, other genres, where, you don't really want to alienate your fan base too much, so you don't really there aren't really as many drastic shifts in like sound too often, but when you listen to like this album compared to like their very first album, there's definitely some very significant differences, even though there are some similarities, where now they're a little bit more rock driven, whereas before they were a little more of the synth driven band maybe, and now the guitars are maybe less 80s and spacey and have a little bit more distortion, grit type thing going on, which definitely is cool to see them continue to evolve. Also, just another thing I like is just really enjoyable listen through. Definitely a great album you can just throw on, listen to the whole thing, and not really have to worry about, I like this song, that one. You just, really good vibe, just kind of good to throw on there and chill out. Got a good mixture of like, slower songs, some little more upbeat songs, so definitely a great listen. Some of the stuff I didn't like I said, I did kind of talk about how, we've had that growth from this album to the very first album. I would like to see more of that. I think, again, this is something where, in this genre, this style of music, there isn't really a huge incentive to really grow and have a huge different sonic change. Like, say, you don't want that backlash from your fans, so I understand that, but would like to see them continue to grow creatively. So that'd be something I would like. Again, it is a very cohesive listen, but I also would like a little more distinctness and maybe just some more variation from song to song. Like I said, it makes a great listen through because it is cohesive, but I think sometimes while you're throwing it on, it took me a couple listens to be like, these are the song, that one, I like that one. So I think that would be something I would like to see more of. I think also, in addition to that, something that kind of leads towards that is, I think just some different lyrical content would be good. LANY, obviously they're like an indie band. They talk a lot about, breakups, relationships not working out, things like that, love songs, things like that. But some of my favorite songs from them are songs that explore different lyrical content or just approach it in a way they haven't before. You and then I Still Talk to Jesus are 2 of my favorite songs from them. So I think if they're able to continue to just do a different writing approach or have some different topics in there, I think that'd be great. In my opinion, just overall, I think Malibu Nights and Mama's Boy are still my favorite and their best. I think, you think about Malibu Nights, also a great album. Both of these great albums you should definitely check out. Malibu Nights, I think, has the best of everything from them. Super short track list, like 10 songs, and there's really no skips. Mama's Boy, on the other hand, I think they started to really, approach more of the rock edge of their sound, or like, more alternative rock as opposed to like the synth-driven sound. And also has a lot of really great songs, has a bunch of different, where they started to take more risks sonically or started to grow a little bit more. So those two are my favorite albums from there still, but still also just a really solid album. As far as favorite songs from here, we got 4 of my favorites here. My favorites are Sugar and Cinnamon, Congrats, Alonica, and Love at First Fight. All really good songs. Definitely something if you listen to this album and you're a fan of like, kind of like maybe, yeah, like I said, the 1975, kind of that pop rock type thing. Definitely encourage you guys to check this album out. It's super good. Definitely something you should enjoy here if you like that type of sound. We'll probably have their music playing in the background during this video, but definitely encourage you guys to check that album out. Like I said, we're going to be doing a different video for every album from my favorite albums of 2023 list. So we got a bunch more coming, so make sure to stay tuned, hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace.